Hey, welcome to another episode of Superhero Deep Dive. I am your host, Jason, and it is a beautiful Tuesday. Unless you're listening to me on a different day, then I'm sure it's just fine, whatever day that is as well. um, welcome. I have a good show planned for you today. This week, I am covering the demon known as Etrigan. Yes, that's right. Grandmaster E himself, the rhymer of rhymes, the dopest demon in the pit of hell for all that stuff. So, I don't know. I'm not very good at this. Okay, before I get into it, I do have to give my general disclaimers like I always do. Information is pulled from different sources across the internet and may or may not be completely complete, but they do give a really good insight on the current superhero. And as always, if any of you have any questions, comments, concerns, critiques, or requests, you can always reach out to me on Twitter at superdeepdive and use the hashtag superherodeepdive. You can also email me at b4itall@yahoo.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment on the video, and I can handle that as well. So, yeah. And yeah, I think that's about it. So let's do it. Now, Etrigan is really cool. He was always a character I wasn't terribly familiar with, because he was just always would kind of show up. And, it was pretty cool. But the more I learned about him, the cooler he kind of became. So I'm pretty excited to share this with you. So Etrigan is a demon from hell who, despite his violent tendencies, usually finds himself allied with the forces of good, mainly because of an alliance between the heroic characters of the DC universe and Jason Blood. And Jason Blood is a human to whom Etrigan is bound. Now, Etrigan is commonly depicted as a muscular creature with orange or yellow skin. He's got little horns, red eyes, pointed web ears, and he frequently speaks in rhymes. The character was originally based in Gotham City, leading to numerous team-ups with the Batman. So, that's pretty cool. Now, originally, Etrigan is the son of the demon Belial, and he is summoned by the wizard Merlin. He's summoned by the demon Merlin, or not the demon, the wizard Merlin. So this is back in like Camelot days. Unable to gain the creature's secrets, he bonds the demon with Jason Blood, who is a knight in King Arthur's Camelot. This renders Jason Blood immortal, which he alternately considers either a penance or a curse. Because, he's noble, and it's hard to see the people you love pass away. So it happens. Now, in modern time, Jason Blood resurfaces as a prominent demonologist in Gotham City. Jason is called to the crypt of Merlin and discovers a poem that changes him into Etrigan. On his unfortune, he is followed by the long-lived Morgan Le Fay, who lost from Merlin's secrets. That leads to Etrigan's first major battle. Over the years, Etrigan both clashes with and occasionally aids Earth's heroes, guided by his own whims and Jason's attempts to turn his infernal power to good use. So sometime after his first appearance, Etrigan begins speaking in rhyme due to a promotion in hell, though he is not limited to rhyme. He leads the forces of hell in the great battle against the great evil beast, and is in brief contact with the entity in its questions about its nature. He barely survives the attempt, and his high rank would also see him guide Dream of the Endless from Hell's Gates to Lucifer. So, I think it's kind of funny that it's like his promotion in hell, it's not like that he's more evil, it's just that he can rhyme. So, he's kind of like the Beastie Boys of the underworld. And you can quote me on that. Okay, so let's see here. Sometime after that battle, Jason Blood and Glendamark attempt to separate Blood and Etrigan, an event that leads to Blood's ally Harry Matthews being devoured, and later turned into a pillow. I wonder if he's like in My Pillow. Okay, but he's turned into a pillow by Belial. At the end of these events, Etrigan and Blood are separated. Both begin to age, and during the event known as the Cosmic Odyssey, Blood and Etrigan were merged once again, so they're young again. They retain their youth, and their immortality. After the re-merging, the relationship between Blood and Etrigan becomes even more contentious. Drawn to hell by the archfiend Aseroth, Etrigan stops Aseroth's attempt to sacrifice Glendamark, Randu Singh, Merlin, and Blood himself. And in hell, Blood and Etrigan were at the time separated. Etrigan followed these events by overthrowing the triumvirate of leaders in hell, which is Lucifer, Belial, and Beelzebub, and taking the control, or the symbol of authority in hell, the crown of horns, for himself. Separated from Blood via the crown's power and about to destroy him, Merlin reminded Blood of his own power. Jason Blood spoke the incantation and re-merged with Etrigan, and they were drawn back to Earth. There, Etrigan fought Lobo, Clarion the Witch Boy, and his gang, and was drawn into the realm beyond, where he met the Thing That Cannot Die, and was reunited with his older brother, Lord Scapegoat. Those are two terrible names. I am the Thing That Cannot Die. Fear me. And then, this is my brother, Lord Scapegoat. Like, come on. Like, those are terrible, terrible names. Like, you can do better than that. You can be better. All right. So, he's got a long history, by the way. Like, I'm just letting you know. Upon escape from the realm beyond, Etrigan and Blood agreed to work together and teamed with Batman and Robin against the Howler. Soon after, Etrigan was chosen as a political candidate for President of the United States and nearly succeeded in securing the Republican nomination from George W. Bush. I was like, that sentence right there is just humor in itself. During his political run, he attempted to gain Superman's endorsement, but was denied it. Now, I'm not making this a political statement. He was not denied Superman's endorsement because Superman's a Democrat. I don't think Superman's very political when it comes to matters like that. I think he was denied it because Superman didn't want to back one person over another. Unless you're running against Lex Luthor, then I guarantee Superman will endorse you. But if you think about it, if there was like a Republican or Democrat superhero, I bet you Superman would probably be Democrat and Batman would be Republican. I'm just saying. What are your thoughts? Like, let me know on Twitter. It's at Super Deep Dive. Use the hashtag Superhero Deep Dive. But anyways, let's move past that. All right. When Jason Blood's daughter was born, he decided to destroy Etrigan and hired metahuman hitman Tommy Monahan to help him. After a battle against both Merlin and Etrigan, the two of them rescued the baby, and Blood was able to steal the demon's heart, essentially neutralizing the demon and binding him to Jason's will. At the end of the battle to gain the demon heart, Jason Blood left the child, Catherine Mark, with her mother, Glenda Mark. Jason told Glenda before he had left, "Take care of our daughter Glenda. I think it would be best if she never knew about her father." Blood then skipped out on paying Monahan the $2 million he had promised. Etrigan became listless and ceased to rhyme. When Monahan needed an edge against the demon Mauser, he conned Blood into returning to Gotham and using Etrigan to retrieve the Ace of Winchesters, the anti-demon rifle from Hell, all while preparing to force the demonologist to let the monster onto Earth again. Despite the real risk that Etrigan would kill him in vengeance, Monahan traded Etrigan his heart for the Ace of Winchesters, once more forcing Blood to have the full burden of their merging and returning Etrigan to his full strength. Although Etrigan reneged on the deal and tried to kill Monaghan anyway. Because why not? Because why not? That's just crazy. All right. So they have, I mean, this is like a dysfunctional marriage, like an abusive marriage. They're together, they separate for a little bit, they get back together, they get in trouble, they separate, they come back. I mean, what the hell? Okay. I had to get a sip of water. All right. So, despite Blood's own doubts about himself, when the Justice League vanished during their attempt to rescue Aquaman from the past, Batman's emergency program, designed to assemble a substitute Justice League in the event that the originals were ever killed, selected Blood as the team's magic expert. A pre-recorded message Batman had left for Blood assuring the sorcerer that he would not give Etrigan the keys to the Watchtower unless he was certain he could be controlled. While the subsequent fight with, I don't know, Gamine? I don't know. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Gamine. I don't know. Jason sacrificed himself to free Zatanna from her control. Although he later escaped Gamine's quagmire spell thanks to Martian Manhunter telepathically prompting his transform into Etrigan, the crisis resolved. Jason handed his duties as a League magic expert over to Manitou Raven, newly arrived in the present, before departing. Okay. So in the series, Blood of the Demon, Etrigan apparently loses the restrictions imposed upon him by the wizard Merlin, which turned him from evil, caused by his murder at the exact moment he was transforming from his human self, Jason Blood, into his demon self. It turns out that the incident has resulted in Jason Blood being able to exert some will over Etrigan's violent nature, whereas previously the two remained separate, only existing like one at a time. So this is cool. This is almost like a firestorm kind of situation at this point. Like, they're kind of, right, Jason Blood doesn't control Etrigan, but he does have influence. So Etrigan later attempts to use the Trident of Lucifer to take control of Hell. A makeshift Shadowpact team successfully takes the Trident from him and flees to the supernatural Oblivion Bar. Etrigan follows and battles a team inside the bar. He is turned into stone via magical pistols and is used as a hat rack. The pistol's magic would return Etrigan to normal at sunrise, which never happens within the bar. That's right. Now, if you don't know, the Oblivion Bar is actually this bar. It's kind of like in a magical dimension, so only magic users can go there. It exists kind of outside of space and time. So there's no sunrise, there's no sunset. I mean, it just exists. So that's pretty funny. And the fact that he was turned into a hat rack, he was already turned into a pillow once before. Like, this dude, he just, for all the power this guy has, and we will get into it. It's just the worst kind of luck, I guess. I don't know. All right. Etrigan takes part in a war for control of Hell on behalf of Neron, dueling the Blue Devil. Later, due to the effects of a magical drug Satanus had infested Hell with, he was transformed into a soulless physical human, a perfect duplicate of Jason Blood. Blood, meanwhile, has taken steps as to interfere with any possible attempts of Etrigan to reemerge. All right, during the Blackest Night event, which was awesome, by the way, Blood's body is possessed by Deadman, who invokes Etrigan's transformation using his flames to hold back the Black Lanterns. Let's see here. Etrigan briefly also appears in the prelude to the JLA and JSA crossover during the Brightest Day event. Etrigan travels to Germany in order to find a crashed meteorite that contains an unconscious Jade. And that's not the Rock. That is actually the original Green Lantern's daughter, who has the power of, like, a Green Lantern without having to wear the ring. Like, and her skin is green and everything, so they call her Jade. And it's drawn into a confrontation with the Justice League after attacking a squad of German superheroes. He mocks the League by claiming that they are an inferior team of substitutes and is ultimately defeated when Donna Troy uses her lasso of persuasion to force him back into Jason Blood form. So, yeah. We have that going on. And if you hear typing in the background, it's because my screensaver came on and I have to unlock my computer to make sure I'm still recording. Okay. All right, so where was I? Okay, lasso of persuasion to force him back into Jason Blood form. Jason apologizes for the trouble he caused and departs from the scene, but not before warning Batman and his teammates that the meteorite possesses supernatural qualities. The meteor is later revealed to be a Starheart, a legendary entity that has the power to possess metahumans with magical or elemental abilities. Okay, a little bit more, and then we're going on. Etrigan is also shown aiding the Justice League of America during their mission into Hell, where he helps Hawkman defeat a demonic beast. He also was the guide to the Secret Six in their trip to Hell and led Catman to see the fate of his father, all the while amused by the confusion and pain they were suffering as a result of their visit. So it's really weird. His history is just riddled with doing good and bad. It's like he wants to be bad, but he can't help himself from doing good. And, when he tries to be bad, he gets turned into a pillow. Or he gets turned into a hat rack. Or whatever. Or he gets turned into a mortal without any powers. That's a duplicate of the guy that he would transform from. So, what can you do? All right. His powers. This is fun. Okay. Even among demons, Etrigan is considered to be extremely powerful. He has mystically enhanced superhuman strength to the degree that he can stand against other powerhouses such as Superman, Wonder Woman, and Lobo. He has a high degree of resistance to injury and can project hellfire from his body, usually from his mouth, like he is a hellfire bulimic. If that helps, picture it. He has a very high command of magic. Other powers include mystically enhanced fangs and claws, enhanced senses, super speed, agility, telepathy, energy blast, and precognition. His sadomasochistic nature allows him to enjoy pain as if it were pleasure, making him genuinely fearless in the face of combat and torture. His healing factor can handle an incredible amount of damage, allowing him to recover from wounds that have removed large sections of his body. He also has pyrokinesis and cryokinesis, enabling him to manipulate fire and ice. So this dude is extremely overpowered to be turned into a pillow or a hat rack. As seen in Batman the Brave and the Bold, it appears that he also has some matter manipulation power on a molecular level. His powers can be extended by other magical devices, such as the Crown of Horns. Etrigan is also provided with insight into religious aspects and other forbidden or secret knowledge. Okay, this is pretty cool because where it says this, this guy's a demon, right? Now, demons, and if you're not a Jew or a Christian, that's fine. I am not discriminatory. But in the Old Testament, in the Bible, I believe it's the Old Testament, so please don't correct me if I'm wrong. It is in the Bible, period. But in the Bible, the demons are fallen angels. And there was a third of the angels went down with Lucifer. So he would have these aspects of this knowledge because he was there. That's part of who he was. So, yeah. Okay, so Jason Blood, who was his, human immortal counterpart. Jason Blood is highly skilled in hand-to-hand combat, including mastery in swordsmanship, Blood is also adept at magic and is often called upon to act as an advisor or investigator in occult matters, such as the series Arkham Asylum, Living Hell, and the DC animated universe. He has limited precognition and telepathy, and Jason is technically immortal due to his connection to the demon Etrigan. He has the combined experiences of Etrigan since he was bonded to the demon, and Jason Blood shares all of Etrigan's weaknesses. So, yeah. In order to transform into Etrigan, Blood must recite the poem from Merlin's Crypt, though usually he only recites the last 2 lines. But it's, "Change, change, O form of man, free the prince forever damned, free the might from fleshy mire, boil the blood in the heart for fire. Gone, gone, O form of man, and rise the demon Etrigan." So, to return to his human form, the couplet must be recited either by Etrigan or someone else in his hearing, but there are several versions of it. One of, if not the earliest form, is "Begone, begone, O Etrigan, resume once more the form of man." And other variants include, "Gone now, O Etrigan, and rise again, or rise once more the form of man." And in the animated film Justice League Dark, a different poem is used to return Etrigan to human form. "Since the battle's fought and won, Jason Blood with me is done." So, these are pretty cool. That's definitely a weakness, if you can figure out how to get him to turn back, in the middle of a battle, that's great, because you immediately gain the advantage just with the confusion. It's almost like being able to get Shazam to turn back to Billy Batson, only you have to get Shazam to actually say the words. With this one, you just have to be within earshot. He just has to hear you. So, that's kind of nuts. And also, the poem does not have to be spoken for it to work. For instance, in one adventure, Blood is magically transformed into a fly. Unable to speak, Blood triggers a change by writing out the poem in the dust. And in one of the earliest post-Kirby revivals of the character, which Jack Kirby made the character, and it's also the first story in which he was depicted as a rhymer, Etrigan was summoned by a wizard who wished to control him, forcing the transformation on Blood by repeated chanting of "Yarva Demonicus Etrigan," a phrase which often appears in depictions of Blood down the centuries. I don't know what that means. I didn't look up the translation. But if you know the translation, let me know. You can reach out to me on Twitter at superdeepdive or use the hashtag superherodeepdive. Okay, weaknesses. Etrigan has all the limitations usually associated with a demon, including a weakness towards holy powers and iron. Additionally, when Green Arrow once shot a fire extinguisher arrow into his mouth, I'm sorry, that's just beautiful. Okay, Green Arrow shot a fire extinguisher arrow into his mouth. Batman told Etrigan that the only way to stop the pain was to change back to Jason Blood. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. Okay, that's great. I mean, I've never really been a big fan. I've always thought it was funny when, Green Arrow has the big boxing glove arrow, but to have a fire extinguisher arrow, that's great. I wonder if it's like the chemical fire extinguishers, like the where it makes the fire burn so hot that it takes up all the oxygen and it kind of sets itself out. I don't know. Okay. Let's see here. His command of magic is strong, but considered to be less than his father, Belial, and his half-brother, Merlin the Magician. Additionally, Belial granted the power of Etrigan to both Merlin and another son, Lord Scapegoat. He is also helpless against those with magical power strong enough to control him, such as Morgan Le Fay. He is also said to have a strong frailty for human sounds as well. Not really sure what that means. Maybe sonic powers hurt him, like Black Canary. I don't know. Okay. Fun facts. Etrigan was originally inspired by the Prince Valiant comic strip. And he was also created in response to a demand for a horror character in DC Comics. Now, normally in the fun facts, I'll add, like, if they've been in any video games or movies or cartoons or something like that. He's guest starred in so many, I'm not adding it. Because in that regard, as kind of like a background character, he's actually really popular. You can catch him in, I believe, Justice League Dark. I believe Justice League Demons and Monsters, I think. He's been in a lot. So, yeah. You're not missing anything, though. If you don't recognize him, you're not missing anything. So that's the kind of history and breakdown of Etrigan the Demon. Yeah, he's an intense character. He's got a lot of potential. He's just fun. He's just fun. The more you learn about him, the more you're like, he's just a fun character. Okay, I can dig this. So we're going to be coming up to my favorite part, which is the power expansion section. Now with this, I take it, and I'm like, okay, do they need a new comic series? Do they need a new storyline? Would they make a good movie? Would they make a good TV show? Or maybe not even a full-on TV show. What if it's just a mini-series? Like, like a Disney Plus or something where it's 6 to 8 episodes. And if they do get cast like that, who would play them? Do they need to be in an animated series? Just whatever. I've covered the whole gambit. So I want to know what you think of this character, how you view him. What would your suggestions be? As always, you can send me a message on Twitter. You can write on my wall, whatever. DMs are always open. It's Super Deep Dive on Twitter, and you can use the hashtag superherodeepdive. Also, you can email me directly at b4itall@yahoo.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave a comment. If I don't respond, I'll at least take note of it. But I'll try to respond. I mean, I don't get a lot of comments on YouTube anyway, so it's not a big deal. And yeah, and as always, you can hear me wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. I upload a new video every Tuesday on YouTube. It's just the podcast with the slideshow, so you get to kind of images of the character. And also, you can catch me every Tuesday and Thursday throughout the day on Outworld Fleet Radio, and that website is www.un-conventional.com/radio. All right, so let's get into this. This will be fun. Power expansions. Okay, so I was looking at this character, and I had like some cool kind of visions. Like, this needs to be an Amazon Prime or HBO Max series, like yesterday, like pronto. So check it. We get Matt Berry, who was one of the vampires from What We Do in the Shadows, and he was also the boss in the IT crowd, as the voice of Etrigan. And the rest can be done with CGI, but it would work because that actor is amazing. If you don't know who I'm talking about, go to YouTube and look up Matt Berry, like strawberry, Matt Berry. The dude is so funny, and his voice is just so distinctive and powerful that it would be great. And then we get Ben Barnes, who, if you don't know who that is, he played Caspian in the Narnia series. He's in the Amazon show Shadow and Bone. But I want him to be Jason Blood. He'd be great as the serious, tormented guy. And I think he could play the role of one of Camelot's knights as well, as per the original origin, because, he did a lot of the same kind of stuff in Caspian, as Caspian in the Narnia movies. So, so we have those. Like, those are the two actors I would cast. I'd have Morgan Le Fay maybe be the main villain, but I don't really have a casting preference. You could even use the lady from the BBC Merlin series, because she did an awesome job in that role, and she's a great actress. And I think it'd just be funny to have her play the same character in a different series, because then they could almost be connected. but but we have it set in like present day, where Blood is the demonologist, so it connects with like the updated version. And he can have flashbacks to medieval times to fit in with that origin, while he investigates the supernatural. Kind of like Constantine, where he investigates the supernatural, but maybe that's stuff that's more related to Morgan Le Fay. That way, it all stays kind of connected. And, just describing that, it kind of had me set, like, I don't know if any of you guys remember, in the 90s, there was a Highlander TV show where, he would be looking for different immortals or something. And because he's lived so long, he's met a lot of them. So while he's talking or while he's looking for them, to kill them, or they're committing some crimes or whatever it is, or they're hunting him, he would have flashbacks to the past where he would have interactions with them. And I think that could be something similar, like same kind of formula with it. That way you get stuff back in medieval times, and then how it almost like can correspond with stuff that's going on now, and just kind of go hand in hand. But he can fight demons, as acting as Etrigan, and it can show the way they battle over influences between Etrigan and Jason Blood. But you also get to see where traps can be set to where Blood may not be able to handle things, or where he may be able to handle things a little bit better than Etrigan can. So you start to see like a kind of an agreement or an accord or some kind of balance between the two characters, which would be cool. But you don't want the demon to be like the final end all be all character. I think having something like Morgan Le Fay be the final character, like maybe she's trying to open some gates of hell. And in doing that, other demons are coming out, and he's got to fight it. But Etrigan should not be the main character of it. It should be more of Jason Blood, and have Etrigan be the guy behind it. You pissed me off too much. This is what's happening. I'm like I said, and it can show how the characters can start to grow together and have a respect for one another, while still battling the demons around them. It made me think of like the Venom movie, where Eddie Brock had to kind of come to some kind of agreement with the Venom symbiote. Like, we can't eat people. We can do this, though. We can do this. There's a give and take to make them work together. So I think it could be something like that, only a demon from hell. You can also have cameos in it, too. Like, throw in Zatanna for a few appearances. That'd be fine. Have Constantine come in, or at least reference. And if it's in Gotham, maybe the Batman and Scarecrow could show up once in a while, just to kind of help, liven things up. And I was just figuring maybe the Scarecrow could be the easiest villain, because it preys on people's fears. So, that could work out something similar. But the fact is, you can do a lot with this character, because he's had a part in so many other characters' story. He just needs one really good one to stand on his own, and I think this could be a great way to showcase it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know on Twitter. Like I said, my Twitter handle is superdeepdive, and you can always use the email b4itall@yahoo.com. Use the hashtag superherodeepdive. Comment on YouTube, like, subscribe, do all that stuff that you need to do. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think next week is going to be my rant episode. So that should be fun. Those are always fun. And I will catch you guys later. In the meantime, everyone be safe, be happy, be blessed, be smart. And if you're not smart, don't get caught. All right, I'll catch you guys next week. Bye-bye.